It is day 43 of my modified 90-day novel writing challenge. I got up at 5 this morning and it is now 9:15. I started the morning out reading some poetry and Pessoa, and then I actually ordered another book I'm so excited about. I've been thinking a lot about revisiting Homer's Iliad and Odyssey. I read it in school and I remember I enjoyed it, so I want to reread it as I'm writing my own epic tale. And by epic, I mean poetically epic. So I ordered that book and then I got to writing. I'm at a grand total of 3,990 words for this manuscript, and in my session, I wrote 327 words. I'm taking another break, but I'm really loving how this is turning out. It's slower, and could I force myself to do 1,000? I could, but A, there's no enjoyment for me in that, and B, I just don't think the quality of my thoughts can be what I want it to be if I'm putting out that much volume, especially with this style of writing. It is 11:40 a.m. My break turned into a lovely morning walk with Sybil and my husband that then led to tacos at the farmer's market and then chores. I want to write more, but I think I'm going to let it fall to the background of my mind. I want to let it simmer in my subconscious because I know that things are brewing there. I'm going to read and reflect on this process. I just don't think it's healthy to force the writing, especially in this new direction, with literary fiction and all the heavy themes I'm writing about. And so, though I want to write more, I'm going to adopt this ripe fruit philosophy where until I really feel that almost urge to write, I'm going to put it aside and focus on reading and reflection. Neil Gaiman does something like this, but at a lesser scale. He basically will write, and then if he's not writing, he'll do nothing. And this is, in my mind, his version of the ripe fruit philosophy. Letting the fruit hang and then letting it fall to you when it's heavy and ripe and ready to roll off the tree. In having written 1,000 words every single day for 38 days in a row, I know that 1,000 words daily is possible for me, but I also do know that it is not sustainable for the genre I'm writing in. I've learned that just because you can do something doesn't mean you should, and that really applies for me with the volume of writing. So on day 43, I'm wiser to the process. I know now why I write slower, and I think having come to an understanding of that has really freed me from a lot of the pressure I also used to feel about writing. I think that writing is a balance of the discipline and the art. Discipline is notorious for leading people to burnout, and art is infamous for not getting anything done. I think that much of the discovery in writing is of process and what works for you and what works for you in the long haul, and what also adds to your enjoyment, because ultimately if you are not enjoying this ride, it is going to absolutely suck the life out of you. But every person enjoys differently. So some people do like to move fast and crank out 1,000, 2,000, several thousand words at a time. Some people have the capacity to do that. And others, like me, I just have to go slower. I want to feel like I can really indulge in this writing process, but that I'm making good progress. So I don't want to wait 10 years like Donna Tartt to produce a novel, but I think I could wait a year or two. I think about my writing process like growing a tree or a plant, not a weed. And it's a different labor growing a tree. That is what I've learned in this journey so far. I think at the beginning, I had this idea that I could really accelerate in this, but the way my soul desires to move through this process is not the way my will wants to. And that was a major theme I was wrestling with at the beginning stages of this challenge. But getting really honest with myself, I thought about it and I was like, I don't want to live like this, and I don't have to. I'm going to end this video with a little excerpt of my first paragraph from my first iteration of this manuscript, and then my first paragraph of this new iteration of the manuscript. I think that'll demonstrate really, really clearly the differences that I am talking about. On the left, I have Asher's Corridor, and then on the right, I have After Catharsis. I'll let you pause and read that for yourself, but that's really the difference. The core premise of the story is actually the same for both, but you can tell how very, very, very differently they're being expressed. Another mindset shift that's new for me in this iteration of the challenge, I am now actually excited for when the time comes to edit. Editing was such an aversion for me at the beginning, and now I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to see how my story pulls together as a complete work, and I'm looking forward to reading it in that completion in one go. Overall, I am really glad to have made that 37,000 word cut. For me, I really did have to go through all of that to find the 2,500 that I would love and really run with. The way I think about it is like carving off the excess, cutting the fat. That is what I had to go through to remove the excess to then really come to the form I want to manifest.